Welcome back to the Golden Lake Gardens channel, where we will pick up from our last video where we were dehydrating our citrus, but first coffee, because it's the next morning and I need to drink some coffee before I do anything else today. It's Monday. So here we are. I have my cup of coffee, hazelnut, into the dehydrator. I'm going to grab out both trays and take a look and see if we're dry. And it's looking pretty good, but I'm still seeing feeling some softness, some like pillowiness in some of the cells of these oranges, but they are very pretty. The majority of them are dry though, but that flexibility you just saw there, we don't want that. So they'll go back in. Some of the smaller ones, however, did dry and they're nice and hard. Beautiful, crispy, almost like those beautiful windows you see in churches, and you can almost see through them. I know you can't see it in this light, but they're super shiny and almost clear, where you can kind of see directly through. There's another shot I have here. Well, very soon you'll be able to see the difference between one like this, that's really almost see-through the way the light goes through it at that angle right there, and one that's not. Even the thicker ones, you should really have a nice clear crispy consistency. And see this one where you can see it in one piece, how the part that's not dry all the way won't let the same amount of light through, and it's still soft when you squeeze it. So there's still a lot of undehydrated matter and juice in those. And here's a second tray. I'm going to pull out the lemons so you can see the lemons. The first tray was all oranges. These are also still really soft, or softer than I'd like them to be. So I'm going to just go through and review each piece, see which ones are totally done. Like this one's totally hard. Still works very well in tea, even though it's like the end piece. But look how pretty they are in the glass. But they still work. They still do what they are intended for. Yeah, these are still soft here. I'm going to put them back in the dehydrator. I'm only going to put them back in there for maybe another 4 hours at the same temperature, 135 degrees. And then I'll allow them to cool off for 30 to 45 minutes and then check them again and just go from there. And the ones that are dry, like this one here, I'll put them in the jar of beauty and delicious, the jar of finished product. That'll go into my little tea nook right next to my coffee nook. And then the ones that aren't dry, I'll stick them back. Like, look at this one. This was a nice thick one, and look how transparent it looks. It's totally dry. This is what it's meant to look like. See how it's almost transparent? You can let the light through. It's still really pretty. This one's dry too. And they look good in the jar. They look good in your hot tea, especially when you have a clear mug. They look good in your cold drinks. It's a delightful appearance for a garnish. It does add flavor when the beverage is hot, and it has time to kind of like rehydrate and release all of those citrus oils into your hot beverage, which is why we do enjoy it in a cup of tea. And here are some of the other things I put in the dehydrator. These are the poblano peppers. See how they're still soft? That's still got a lot of squish to it. I don't want it like that. This will produce mold, so we don't want to do that. I'm gonna check a few other pieces and see if it's the majority of them. They all mostly feel still. It's not even rubbery. They just feel like squishy. You can feel, since they're cold, you can feel the moisture in it since they are cold. So this whole tray is going to go back in. Underneath this tray was the green onions. And as you can see, some of the smaller pieces of the poblano peppers have fallen through the top tray down here. It's easy to fall through as they shrink. But the ones that shrink and came through down here, for the most part, I'm going to check them. But for the most part, everything here is super dry and crispy. Almost like parsley, dried parsley flakes if you've cooked with those. So like a dried herb, even the thicker pieces of green onion like this one. This is more of the closer to the white, the space, the light green space between the white and the green tops. They're all crispy, very much like potato chips. Nice and crispy, no squishy feeling. They're all crunchy. So I love it. I want to go with that. But here are some of those poblano pieces that fell through. Some of them are a little bendy, so I'll stick those back. I don't want it. Stick those back in the dehydrator with the bigger pieces. And then there are other pieces that are like really nice and crisp, and they kind of snap when you give a little pressure. So those are the ones I'll keep in here. And I don't really care that they're mixed in with the green onions. I really truly don't, because quite frankly, the use of the green onions when they're dehydrated like this, they tend to go into soups or stews and things like that. So to rehydrate, and a little poblano pepper, this amount in here is minimal. All right, if this ended up going into some soup or something like that as a garnish, or utilization in a pot of a bowl of soup or anything like that, it has to reconstitute the B. It's just so small of an amount. That little bit of heat is not going to make or break anything for me. I like spicy food, and this is not nearly going to affect anything. This is me putting everything in their jars. Look at that. Just looks so pretty. Nice and dehydrated. Nice and dry. And I'm going to label it using my little easy remove labels that I got off of Amazon. So I'm going to label it as green onions, and I'm going to put it in my spice cabinet because I'm going to use it like a dry herb. And then here are the dried orange and lemon slices that are ready to go now. And then I'll go ahead and put everything together later as I check through the remainder. But here it is. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell for our next video. Bye-bye.